Right, I've had to edit this video with this disclaimer. Do not try this at home, guys. It is really risky. I made this video a couple of weeks ago now, I think, and I didn't upload it just due to the risk factor. I even phoned my friend Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner, kind of raised my concerns after I filmed it, and you know, so just, I know I make suggestive comments during the video, you know, what to try and what not to. Just think of this as an experiment, something that I'm working on. I have another safer method which I will share with you, but you know, we're talking polystyrene with a lot of heat that could generate inside. This could melt, you know. It's just an experiment. I shouldn't have filmed it in a suggestive way, so just take this with a pinch of salt and just, you know, learn from my experience with this as well. You shouldn't really need to speed up your curing time, but you know, just be safe. It might give you alternative ideas. Yeah, so just be very safe. And the resin that I'm using, I used in the video at the time, was the Lech resin 1-1, but obviously that was the original formula, which is now the collaboration resin. So the links for that as well, everything's in the description box below. But again, just stay very, very safe when you're experimenting with stuff like this, because it comes with a very high risk. So yeah, stay safe. Right, we are back. You're probably wondering, what has he got in store for us today? Now, most of you have probably seen good old Steve McDonald's video. If you haven't, go to his channel and check it out. He's got an amazing piece of kit by a company called Resiners, which cures your resin in around about 2 hours. Now, I can't afford one of those. I don't even think they ship to the UK at the moment, so Steve said, so they're due at some point. But what I'm going to show you today is something that I've been using on and off for probably 2 or 3 months. You probably remember in a previous video where I mentioned I used a heat mat. Now I was looking for an alternative method to allow, well, a safer method to show you to kind of speed things up, and this is what I come up with. So, you know, it's a bit of a budget, you know, it's a bit of a kind of working process. I've managed to do this on 2 tiers. Just have a play around with it, but I'll show you how it kind of works. So I've just got a cooling tray in here, and it's supported, I know it's terrible, by just a few cardboard tubes. And then I've got a hot water bottle. So the idea is, we obviously do our work, we store that inside, we pop the lid on, we time it. We're going to time everything today. So you're watching this at the moment. I actually filmed this earlier today, so I'm going to kind of speed things up and get this video up there for you all to watch, hopefully tonight, if things go to plan. Now, the trouble is with peatry, if you're heating peatry work up, a lot of things can happen, because we need to rely on that white sinker to kind of create the effect that we want. When I first started experimenting with this, you can see here the difference. Now, what happens with this shape and with many other shapes is that because the resin's warming too quick, the white sinker is not allowing to give us the effect, and these pieces in particular cured in the middle quicker than the outside edges. So you can see I went in for the stir after about 30 minutes on this one, I think, if I remember rightly, and it was pretty much solid in the middle. Same with this one. You can see there's no effect. So what I did was I played around with it quite a lot at the time, and I realized that I needed to let the resin sit, and then after the hour stir, we then put the pieces inside this, what would you say, incubator, curing curing device, whatever you want to call it. And this container, this polystyrene container, is mainly used for livestock like fish. So it's a very good insulated polystyrene box, and yeah, it really does contain the heat. Now, if you was to pop a coaster in here, just a bog standard coaster. This will cure it in 2 hours, if not an hour and 40 minutes I've had sometimes. I've not tried it with the bloom technique. I presume you'd probably need to wait an hour before you put it in, the same as Peachtree. But what I'll do for the UK people, I'll pop the Amazon link in for this size box, but for the US I'll put the dimensions in the description. You might find a local supplier that you can buy one off near you. I'll try and find a US link for you, but if not, I'll put the dimensions in and you'll just need to search the dimensions up. So we're just going to do one tray today, we're not going to do the two. And there's a few important stages to this, so don't skip the video, you know, till the end. Just try and stick with the video. I'll show you some do's and don'ts and some kind of tricks behind how to make this system actually work. So I'm going to mix up some resin and then we're going to start. You know, I won't show the ink dropping and stuff like that. I'll kind of skip that part, but I just want to show you the process of how this box, just a box and a hot water bottle with a little shelf, will work. So we are going to be using the Let's Resin 1-1. Good news, the collaboration resin is coming this month, so keep your eyes out. I'll do a video when that arrives. We're going to be using just a few colours from the 26 ink set, and the Sinker White obviously is the C Deeper from Let's Resin. So bear with me, I'm going to get mixing. Right, so I've changed my mind. I'm going to show you what we're going to do on the left one. We're going to just do maybe 1 or 2 pieces in here, and we're going to start that off straight away with the heat. Now this one we're going to keep out of the box and wait for the hour, then do the stir, and then pop it in the box once we've done the stir. But the tricky thing is we kind of need to be careful. You know, we need to come back probably in about 15-20 minutes to stir this one inside the box. I'm also going to show you dropping the colours, because if some of these come out really nice, then at least you'll know which colours I have used. Right, so I've just poured the resin. It's 10:25 AM. It's going to take me a few minutes to drop my inks. So this one is the one that we're going to put in after the hour stir. I'm just going to kind of drop. This is purple, and what I've done is I've done a couple of shallower pieces, because warming resin with shallower pieces doesn't really work that well. Obviously the deeper the piece, resin cures, you know, faster with depth, so we're going to experience some softness when it comes to demolding those shallower pieces. I'd rather show you how. I'm not sure, you know, how the machine works. I haven't tested it, but I've read some of the reviews and people are struggling with shallower pieces, getting them to cure. That is just the way resin cures. I even experienced it in this. So this is the ocean blue. So I'm just dropping I'm using safe colours as well, just so I don't get any muddying. Hopefully we'll get some good results as well. I don't know whether I can get any more colours in. Let me see if I can squeeze a purple in there somewhere. Maybe in this one. Maybe in these hearts. You can see I'm adding all of my coloured inks first this time. I think I did purple in the other ones, didn't I? Boom, boom, boom. Maybe I can squeeze a sapphire blue here and there. I think the others are fine. And again, in this bottle is I've just squeezed my bottle inside here and give it a good shake. And I've just put the one piece for the experiment where we're going to add the heat straight away. Let me lock my focus, that would help. Again, massive shout out to my channel members. Thanks to all my subs. I hope this one helps. It took me a while to come up with this. When I first began, I was kind of resting my tray on top of the hot water bottle. They cured within an hour, but the results were shocking. The heat mat, you know, it works for me, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a sort of video that I could kind of say, oh yeah, go and use this. It's just too risky. It works, but I wouldn't want to put a video up with that just in case anything bad happens. But with a hot water bottle, you've got the risk obviously because you're using boiling water, but to me, just, you know, just be careful. But for me it works when I need to use it. I tend not to use it unless I really need to. But it's also a good experiment. It's good to play around. You could come up with something else. I mean, this is just to throw it together. I never really, you know, put much into this idea. It's just some cardboard tubes with a cooling tray. That is it. So I'm going to move this tray out of the way. I'll do that off camera because I'll probably make a mess. Hopefully not. And then I'm going to show you with a hot water bottle on this one. Right, a cute little bear getting ready for bed there. Let's take that out and I'll show you basically how I've made this budget contraption. As I said, you know, I've done this on different tiers just with shorter stacks and then, you know, another tray on top. But the important part is we don't want to put heat directly onto the bottom of the polystyrene. So this glass tray has got some feet. What will happen is this will absorb the heat. But having those feet underneath with a good gap allows that heat to escape from the sides. So that will help, you know, it's not, the box isn't absorbing all of the heat. So I'm gonna now carefully, very carefully, fill up my hot water bottle. Right, so we've got our hot water bottle. We're just gonna place in. I might try and get it in that way. Doesn't really matter because the heat is just gonna be circulating round. Again, it's a bit of a budget, but it works. So we're just going to put that one piece in, rest it on those tubes carefully. You don't want to go moving this box. Now this box cost around £10, 10 UK pounds. I think that's probably about $12 or $13, and most people have got a hot water bottle lying around, you know, in a cooling tray. So it's very cheap method. You want to make sure there's space when you put the lid on, because you want that warm air to circulate over the top of the tray as well, so just bear that in mind. So let's do a time check. I've set this one for about 20 minutes. I've set an alarm for about 20 minutes to come and stir this one. I've set then another alarm for that hour to go and stir the others. And yeah, just keep a track of the timestamps and you'll see. Right, I'll see you in about 15-20 minutes. Right, it's been exactly 20 minutes since we put our single piece in. So we're just going to give this a stir, and then I think it's about 30 minutes until we come and add or stir the other ones and then add them to this. Now you can see this is still quite it's not how we'd normally do the stir, you know, the stringiness isn't there. You know, you have to be very careful with this because, you know, in the space of another 5 minutes, this could completely change. So just bear that in mind, you know, you'd rather stir now than come to it and it be completely ruined. But again, you know, you'll be following the other way of doing this anyway, you know, letting the resin sit for an hour if you're doing Petri, and then adding it to the box. A couple of quick things: if you're doing 2 tiers, and you add them obviously after the 1 hour stir, you want to rotate the trays. That's what I found, because the ones at the bottom are kind of curing quicker than the top ones, so you'd want to rotate those. The hot water bottle is a 1 litre hot water bottle, just so you know that as well. And yeah, if I think of anything else, I shall let you know. Oh, by the way as well, the longer you keep the lid on the box, the quicker your work is going to cure. If you keep coming back and checking and taking that lid off, that heat's escaping, so it's going to take a longer process. So what we'll do, we'll come back, stir the others, refresh the hot water bottle, because that would be the actual test. This is just as an example, and then we'll time from there. So we'll be back shortly to stir the others. See you in a bit. Quick time check. Right, we put these in at 10:35 AM. It's just coming up to 11:35, so we're just going to take this lid off, and then we're just going to see how this one's going. Give it a tap. See that? My focus. It's pretty solid already. I wonder if I could demold that now. Yeah. Right, so it's probably still a little bit soft, but it's demoldable. And you can see this is, you know, very, very, very different to what we want. So this is what happens when you use heat too fast with the Petri effect. You can see it's, you know, it's a pretty cool effect, but it's not what I want. Again, you know, this might not happen in the machine. I don't know, but this is just through my testing. So we're now going to stir and refresh the hot water bottle, ready for the actual test. So bear with me. So another important thing, when you filled this, just make sure you've dried around the neck of the hot water bottle, because you don't want any moisture inside the box. You don't want any humidity, because that can obviously change the way that things work. So what I'm going to do is just grab my other tray of pieces, and we're going to start stirring. Right, so the hot water bottle is refreshed, and we're just going to quickly stir these in a normal way, and then we will come back at, where's my notes, 12:35 PM, and hopefully, it's normally, you know, my timings are normally pretty spot on. So, you know, if that was a coaster in here, that could have cured in an hour. I've done it once, but the trouble is I waited for 2 hours, just because I didn't want to keep opening the lid and losing heat. But I could demold it. If you want me to make a separate video of coasters, let me know and I will do that for you. But the good thing about the product that Steve showcased is that it has got 3 tiers. It's got, you know, all the timer settings. You know, it's really, really fancy. Again, check Steve's video out. He's really good. His channel's amazing. I'm just sharing this because, you know, I can't afford one of those machines. I can't justify it when I've been using this technique for some time. I mean, it would be nice that I could just push a button and it kind of, I haven't got to worry about hot water bottles and things like that. But yeah, go and check the video out. It's a really good video. And the last one, just like that. Right, so now just to cover this up, and we'll be back at 12:35 for a check. See you in a bit. I forgot to show you the time. It only took me a few minutes just to do that. But recapping on this piece here, you know, it is solid just after 1 hour. You know, it's pretty amazing how this technique can really speed up your pieces. Again, you know, with Petri it's not ideal unless you leave that ink to do what it needs to do. I'm doing that with my finger. It allows that white to push down and give us the effect, whereas this is kind of really kind of cured it fast and prevented that the detail that we normally get. Right, anyway, enough waffling. I'll see you in a bit. Right, spot on, 2 hours. So it's been an hour since we put it in the box, and well, we did the stirring and put it in the box. Now this bit's really important. Obviously we've trapped any fumes inside, so I'm going to mask up, get my eye protection on before I lift this lid up. You can even take this outside if your contraption is more stable than mine. But for me, I'm gonna mask up and put my gloves on and let the area vent for about 5 minutes, and then we will be back. Bear with me, guys. Right. Let's just check if you can hear me. Yeah, these are solid. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Right now we are good to go. These ones still a little bit soft. Like I said, these are shallow, so I might not be able to demold them, but we'll start off. We've got some negative space, but I'm not fussed. You know, it's just a test, just to show. And there you go, compared to that, which obviously killed in an hour, and it's not really the effect that we normally get. So there you have that. And again, always make sure that you've got enough space between the tray and the lids, because these can get hot. And again, be very careful. Hot water bottles, you know, don't want you going burning yourself and then coming back at me. I've got a bit of a different effect in that one. Go. It's kind of spread a bit more than it usually does, but still really cool effects. It's just important, you know, if you're using a kind of technique to speed up your work, that you test, you know, small amounts first. Don't go jumping in and, you know, filling up a whole tray. And like I said, you know, safety first. Make sure that you've got enough space between your lid and your work, because these can produce some heat, you know. And with polystyrene, obviously heat. This is why, wow, look at that. Very different. That is super cool. Again, the heat has caused that different effect. Love that. Love the way that purplish red is just, I think that was the purplish red. Look at that. So some very similar, some very different. Again, on that one, very different. It's, you know, it's just experimenting really, with caution. So yeah, I'm now going to go and stitch all my pieces of video together. Yep, we can take these out and then get them up, and you should be watching them later on today. Again, big shout out to Steve McDonald. If you haven't subbed to his channel, go and give him a sub. Check out that video as well. It's really cool. But again, I just wanted to share how I kind of, when I need to, speed up my process. But like I say, you know, guys, just be super careful. Do testing, you know. This is just the way I do it. I hope it helps. If you do decide to try it, again, always be careful. If this has helped, hit that sub button, and I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.